The Detroit Lions are back at home after going on the road last week in joint practices against the New York Giants. And man, what a time it was. It was nothing but fight after fight after fight coming out of training camp. And the Detroit Lions and New York Giants were both fined $200,000 by the NFL, trying to set the precedent to tell other teams not to do this. The Lions and Giants were the first of many joint practices for teams around the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, they also have, the Detroit Lions have a joint practice next week, I believe, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure, but they are facing the Pittsburgh Steelers in their lone preseason home game, and that should be fun to watch. I will be in attendance in that game. Shout out to one of my subscribers, gifted me 2 tickets to the game, so I appreciate that. But what about day 12 observations? Now, this was open to one of 3 remaining training camps left. This one was open to the general public. Tomorrow will be the last loyal season member practice, which will be a PM practice. I want to say tomorrow's is at night. It's at 6:15. So that means those observations will be coming out extremely late if they come out at all. It would be great if I could go to that one. I was originally supposed to go, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make it to that one. But it would be great because I could get home and then get those observations out to you with my own notes instead of waiting on somebody else's. But what did Tim Twentyman have to say about day 12 training camp observations? Let's take a look. Regarding Jameson Williams, says, making amends. Wide receiver Jameson Williams has been pretty good throughout camp so far, but Sunday wasn't his best day for about the first 95% of practice. Williams dropped a ball in one-on-one drills with the defensive backs and had 2 more drops in a team drill where the first team offense was trying to get out of the shadow of its own end zone. Both led to punts, but Williams made amends late. He made maybe the catch of practice late in the last team period, going up over 3 defenders over the middle to help put the offense in position to make a long field goal in walk-off fashion to end practice. And we already know, man, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Now, Jameson Williams had a colossal problem holding on to the football last year, but he wind up seeming though making amends for that. And we've heard a few times that he's been dropping balls this training camp. But I tell you what, I was out there. I saw Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darius Fountain. I've seen wide receivers dropping football. So I'm not tripping on this because Jameson Williams has had a fantastic practice leading up to, or training camp leading up to this. And then it's not how you start, it's how you finish. If he catches Moss's 3 defenders and sets us up for a game-winning situation, then that I will take that any day of the week. So shout out to JMO. Keep that up, man. One thing I don't want Jameson Williams to lose is his confidence. Got to keep it going. We can see what happens when your confidence is shook. Speaking of confidence, we had a kicker who is the only kicker on the roster, Jake Bates. The Lions have decided to bring in no competition for him, and we were talking about his confidence maybe being in question. And also Dan Campbell mentioned that in the after game press conference about his confidence. And you could see it on Jake's face. Like he was relieved he hit the kick, but he was just like disappointed or something like that. I've never seen a kicker make a kick, but look as sad as he did. But what did Tim have to say about Jake? Says, Bates watch. Speaking of long field goals, Jake Bates ended practice with a 64-yard field goal that had plenty of room to spare. It was the best sequence from the offense all day as they got into his range. What is not his range, though, is they got into his range to the opponent's 46-yard line after starting at their own 25, down 3 points with just 21 seconds on the clock. Williams and wide receiver Khalif Raymond had big catches to set Bates up. That kick by Bates comes on the heels of a 53-yard field goal made in Thursday's preseason opener. He seems to be building confidence, and that is the point. Man, 64 yards with room to spare. That is ridiculous. I mean, we've seen it, and I told you guys while I was there, the dude was just kicking them. I mean, and they had mad distance. Some were hitting the facilities that were on the premises. Yards past the goalpost, but 64 yarders. Not only does that tie Matt Prater, his kick in Denver, it also ties Bates' own kick at Ford Field when he first kicked for the Panthers. And this was outside. That is a great sign. So that is fantastic. But how about the one-on-one drills? Hear what Tim had to say. Says offense, we got an offense and defense. So we're going to go over offense first. Says Amon-Ra St. Brown, Caden Davis. These are people that stuck out to him. Catch of the period, driving down sideline versus Terrion Arnold. So wait, Caden Davis again? Okay. Remember, it seems like him and Terrion are matched up quite a lot. And Khalif Raymond. Defense. Says Carlton Davis had a really nice rep breaking a ball intended for St. Brown. He also ran right with Williams down the field on an overthrow that would have been tough to complete. Khalil Dorsey had a bunch of good reps in the drill and was also dominant in special team drills as a gunner. He made a nice pass breakup in a 7-on-7 drill too. Good practice for him on Sunday. Now, those guys, man, Khalil Dorsey, those guys are on the bubble. Like, so you have to make plays. And like Dan Campbell brought out at the beginning of the morning with the press conference, well, it was early afternoon, that this is when camp starts to him. You've got because you can't really, you had no padded practice, then you did. Then you're going up against your own guys. Then you went up against the Giants. So now you've had padded practice, a preseason game, joint practices. Now we getting down to the nitty gritty. And this is where legends are made and people make teams. So to see Khalil Dorsey step up and show his value on special teams, because he may not have much value on the 53-man roster but he might, as far as cornerback, but he would definitely show his value on special teams. But the one thing that we're worried about, I know I'm worried about, I've been worried about it for the last 5 years, man, is the defense. And the Detroit Lions have had work to do on defense coming into this season. 2022, they had I don't know if y'all remember, and I've said this many a times, ESPN had us giving up 599 points. That would have been historically the worst defense in NFL history. But the Detroit Lions, after starting 1-6 and heading down that road, they were pacing that very number. Actually, more than that. It was like 635 or something like that. They tightened up, had one of the best defenses down the stretch. Then last year, our defense was trying to catch up to the offense. The pass defense was absolutely putrid, one of the worst in the NFL. So the defense is something we've been worried about. But how did the defense do, according to Tim Twentyman? Says, defensive day. I thought it was a good day for the defense overall. The offense was put in some tough situations being backed up, and twice the first team defense forced 3 and outs. The second team defense was 1 for 2 getting off the field in that scenario. Safety Brandon Joseph had an interception off quarterback Nate Sudfeld. Of course he did. And linebacker Isaac Uncle had a sack, as both continued to impress coming off good preseason debuts versus the Giants last week. This guy is trash. This guy has potential. This guy could very well make the 53-man roster. Him and Nate Lynn were guys that were making some noise in that first preseason game. And with the injury to James Houston, the loss of Nate Lynn for probably the season, this is a great time for the undrafted rookie free agent to come in here. Nate Lynn was also undrafted. He was one of the guys that we brought in with that undrafted rookie free agent class. This is an opportunity for him. Injuries suck, but it happens. And this preseason, we've been getting hit a ton, but it's happening. And this guy has a chance to make some noise. I believe he's number 45 or 54. One of those. I think he's one of those, man. I remember paying some attention to him. I think he got the start as well on that defensive front. So I'm excited. Hopefully I get to go to Wednesday's practice. I do have to take my aunt to the airport, but I think it'll be done by then. I'll be able to go to camp and then take her to the airport. My wife currently has COVID for her first time getting it. So she is down. I mean, it hit her. I knew she had it, though. I knew she just went on a trip, and I knew she had it when she got back. And so I've been taking care of her the last couple of days. But she is coming out of it. She should be good to go come Wednesday, and I should be able to go to camp. So I am excited. I'm excited about this game with the preseason. I wish that I had the opportunity to go back to Arrowhead even for a preseason game, just to kind of, take it all in what the Lions were able to do last year. But let me know your thoughts on the Detroit Lions day 12 observations. Are you going to any of the last remaining camps? Again, I was supposed to be there tomorrow, but those fell through. Wednesday, hopefully I can go, and that'll be great. If I could get there tomorrow, that'd be fantastic, because again, I could come home and have my own notes and things like that and be good to go. So let me know your thoughts. Also, check out the links in the description, the affiliate links. You have the ones for NFL Shop. They're having a 25% off now through midnight, and I believe that will be midnight your time as well. So make sure you stock up on your Detroit Lions gear as training camp and the preseason is going on, and the season will be here before you know it, because when you go to Ford Field to see Stafford come back in town, you want to be wearing your Lions gear, right? So check out the links in the description. Consider subscribing as well. We did hit 21.5 thousand subscribers, man. We're on our way to 22. I am hoping to be at 22,000 by the end of the month, so you can help me do that. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. This channel is brought to you by members, viewers, and subscribers just like you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other, and as always, go Lions.